Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the AdaInspires TV, the only TV in the whole of Nigeria where we are interviewing women to share their story, their journey, and all they are doing in their business as they are using the gifts that God gave them. And today we have the phenomenal Precious Ogbonna, the founder of Parent Up Africa, right here with us. She's going to be talking everything about parenting. So if you've got any question, drop it in the comment box. You know, in Africa, parenting is huge right now. That is why we have an expert in the house to tell us all about it. You are welcome, Precious.
Thank you so much, Ada. How are you doing?
I'm fine. And you, how was today with
Thank
your
you so
kids
much
and
for having me.
everything?
Beautiful. Today was great. Today was great.
Yeah,
How are you? How's the family?
family is fine. We are so
Thank
excited
you so
to
much.
have you here with us.
I'm
So
excited to be here too. Thank you for having me.
yeah. So tell us, who are you? Tell us your background. How did you start this whole journey of talking about parenting in Africa?
Okay, so my name is Precious James Ogbonna. I am an early childhood educator and a parenting enthusiast. Okay, so what I basically do in the Parent of Africa is to provide innovative parenting resources for parents, caregivers,
Mm-hmm.
and educators. Okay, so my background into creating and providing resources for parents started out in 2011, right?
Wow.
Um,
Hmm.
yes, it actually started out as a children's teacher in church.
Okay.
So from
Okay.
there, it grew to being a teens pastor in church. And from there, the passion led me to study education to learn more about children. So that has been my journey with children. So for me, for this past years, it has been about children and teenagers. But in 2017, I decided to reach out to parents too. Because no matter what you do with children and teenagers, if their parents are not informed, there's a
Yeah,
glitch somewhere.
I totally agree with you. Yeah. Wow. You are doing such an amazing work. Okay. For us
Thank
here
you.
in Africa, we know that when we were growing up, parenting talks were not that huge. And so our parents, for us in our 30s and 40s right now, made a whole lot of mistakes. And what you see that most
Absolutely.
times the way you were parented is also how you parent your children. So how can we know the right things to do? How do we know how to parent our children the right way? Is there a right way
Yes.
and is there a wrong way of parenting?
Sorry, I didn't get you. I didn't get your question.
And is there a right way to parent and a wrong way to parent a child?
Absolutely. So before you ask my question, before there was network affected, you were talking
Okay.
about we in Africa and our parents and in parenting us in a particular way that
Yeah.
affects the way we're parented, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Parenting in Parent of Africa, we believe that parenting is not just a blessing. You know, you have a baby, everybody's like, wow, baby, glory, you know? It's not just a
Yeah.
blessing, it's not just
Yeah.
a gift, it's
Yeah.
a corporate social responsibility, right? The minute we understand that parenting is a corporate social responsibility, it's a full-time ministry, right? So from the
Hmm. Yeah.
second you conceive,
Yeah.
you have signed the dotted lines that I'm going to be taking care of someone for the next
Mhm.
18 years. Now,
Yeah.
the way you parent can affect your child positively or negatively. So definitely there's a right way to parent and a wrong way to parent.
Okay. So what are the right ways and what are the wrong
Yeah.
ways?
Okay. The right ways are in one word, being intentional,
Okay.
right? If I go back to what I
Yeah.
said before, I said that parenting is a corporate social responsibility, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that means
Yeah.
that if you're going, the difference between having a baby, right? There's this saying that anybody can be a mother, but it takes
Yeah.
intentionality to really be a parent. So the right way to parent is being intentional, understanding that beyond having a baby, I am in charge of this person's life. So the right way to parent is being intentional. No, it's not striving for perfection. We can never be
Okay.
perfect. Let's get that straight. And that you agree, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We can never be
That,
perfect. So it's not like,
yeah.
oh, this person is perfect or they feel they are perfect. No, it's being intentional in every step you take. Right. So I have a book
Yeah.
called The Eagle Eye Parent. It's being
Okay.
eagle eye, understanding that you are like the mother eagle, that your actions will affect your child. Of course, the wrong way to parent is parenting by default. So we said the right way to parent is being intentional. Then the wrong way to
Yeah.
parent is parenting by default. Anything goes. The child does something. You don't do it. You're not taking. You're not taking a second thought. You know what default means? Anything goes, right? So that's
Yeah.
the right way intentional. The wrong way parenting by default.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. So that means we have to be responsible. It's called this corporate. So I've never heard that word before. Corporate social responsibility. We have to
Yeah.
be intentional with our parents and not parents
Yes.
by default. So what makes you a parent?
Yeah.
Is it that you just gave birth? Does that qualify you to be a parent? Because when you look at it, where I stay, you see 15-year-old giving birth. That's a child. 16
That's
years old giving
babies.
birth. Does
Yeah.
that also make them parents?
No. Being a parent, like we said, is beyond conceiving biologically, right? So
Okay.
in having a biological child doesn't necessarily make you a parent. You become a parent the instant you decide that this God-given ministry, I must fulfill it, right? So we're not just talking about being a parent in the literal term, parent.
Mm,
Of course, you have a baby, that's your child, you're a parent. But to
mm,
be an intentional parent, you have to take up the responsibility. You have to decide, right, that I'm going to do this job and I'm going to do it well.
yeah. Wow. Thank you for that clarification there. Okay. For those of us that are, I know that a lot of women are listening to us, and in the 21st century, we women, we are no longer sitting at home. We want to work,
Yeah.
we want to make money, we want to be CEOs,
Ambitious.
we want to secure the bag, but we also want to have children. How can we balance all that? Being that in today's world, to even get a nanny, especially here in Nigeria, a very
Mm,
good nanny is a huge tax. I know how many nannies that have
telling
come
you.
and gone in my house. So how can we manage all that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a battle of balance, right?
Yeah.
No one
Yes.
really has it easy. There's this question that is always asked: can we have it all? Can we be boss ladies? Can we be in the career world, in the business world, and still run our homes right? So there's a struggle of balance, right?
Yes. Yes.
There's a struggle of
There
balance.
is.
So I think we can have it all. We can have it all. God has given us the grace, but you need to set structures in place.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Okay.
following, Ma?
I'm following you. Talk a bit about that. More of
To set
structures.
structures in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to set structures in place. If you can get people to help you, not necessarily nannies per se, but if you can talk your husband, because we really need their support, right? He needs
Yeah.
to be on the same page with you, because if your husband is on the same page with you, it becomes easier, right? He knows where to step in, right? So
Mm,
we also need to take charge of support systems,
Yeah.
support systems in place, family, friends. We need to be able to say, look, I'm weak at this point, come and help me, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even the fact is that getting nannies are domestic staffs are, it's like you're going to the central bank to get money, it's hard, right? But these structures will help you. Knowing
Yeah.
bulk cooking, right? One of the structures is bulk
Yeah.
cooking, um, time management,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
Okay.
For
Yeah.
cooking, time management, getting the help of family and friends, right? And taking care of yourself, self-care. If not, you will
Mm,
burn out,
my
right?
sister.
Understanding that you are in the front, right? You're in the front burner, so you need to take care of yourself. So when you put structures in place, you get help, ask God for help, then self-care. That one is
Yeah.
key. If not, you burn out.
Yeah. So true. So, as parents, self-care is important. Time management is important.
So
It's interesting that we are talking all about this in parenting. Mostly is when you're dealing with business and all that, you're talking about time management. So
yeah.
you can say that this is real
You remember I
business.
said it's a
Being
ministry.
yeah. Yeah, it's a ministry, and it takes intention. It takes intention. So would like to know, as COVID-19 has come and it's going and schools are opening back, how do we ensure that our children go to school safe? What are the things that we can do in this season
Okay,
to prepare them well to go back to
okay.
school?
Before we get to the part of safety, right? We need to ease them back to the routine of school,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So children
yeah.
have been away from school for 6 months at that 6 month. It has never
Yeah,
happened, right? The
never.
longest
Yeah,
holiday is 6 weeks, which is the
yes.
summer holiday. But right now,
Yeah.
these kids have been at home for 6 good months. So we need to
Mm,
ease them back to hulo balo of school life. So the first
mm,
advice I give parents is that start adjusting their waking and sleeping time. Because lots of kids watch TV, wake up by 10, 11, they're not going to school after all. But we need
yeah.
to start
Yeah.
adjusting them back to the normal time. So if your kids used to wake up by 9, start waking them up by 8, 7,
Mhm,
right? Then
mhm.
they sleep late, let them start sleeping early, right? Then
Yeah.
number two is to start getting them mentally prepared, right? You can't wake up
Mm,
on that, assume they're going to school on a Monday. You wake up, let's go to school.
mm,
You're going to have disaster because they're like,
yeah.
mommy, we are home. So you have to mentally
Yeah.
prepare them to understand that they're
Yeah.
going back to school to meet a different environment.
Yeah. That
Are
is
we together?
really,
They're going back to school to meet a different environment. So you need to
yeah.
start talking them about the social distancing. That's the place of safety
Mm,
now. Explain social distancing to them. The use of
mm,
their face masks, washing
mhm.
of their hands. Now let's get to the place of the use of face masks. I saw this image recently that was so hilarious. A little boy went to
Mm,
school and came back with a different face mask, right? So his mother asked him, boy, this is not the face mask you went to school with. And he said,
okay.
mommy, I exchanged it with Jimmy. Jimmy's own was finer than mine. Can you imagine? So we need to
Yes. Yes.
so we need to explain to them. They don't understand. Probably they think the face mask is another part of their uniform that they can exchange. So we need to start explaining to
Yes.
them that the face mask is a personal belonging.
Yes. Totally.
Then, of course, you need to ask your child's school how prepared they are for resumption.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Okay.
need to know. These are the safety things you have to put in place.
Our work just doubled with this whole of COVID-19 and going back to
It's
school.
something else.
Thank
Something
God,
else.
we don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect. We all as parents too, we are all easing into it and all
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah. So
that's
I would
true.
like to talk about something that, well, I said, because I saw it a lot, both as an educator and seeing parents. There's something that parents normally do, which is one, comparing their kids with other kids. We've come to understand that children have different levels of intelligence, but there is this mentality that your child must come first. So when the child comes back home and probably he or she didn't come first, the next thing is that
Problem.
does she or she, does he have two heads? And you know
Head.
that things, yes, affects the self-esteem of that child.
Of
So
the
how can
child,
we
yeah.
as parents stop comparing our kids to other children?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that question. That was a beautiful question. So I think it's important we understand that comparison, the Bible says, is a thief of joy, right?
Mm,
So just
yeah.
imagine that even when you Bible says he that compares himself with other people is not wise. This is the
Mm-hmm.
Bible. This thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine what you do to your child when you now compare them. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I said in the post I just did, that was last week. Nothing scatters a child's self-esteem. Like saying, is that not your mate? Is that not your mate? Oh my God. I remember I didn't like it. Look, I'm an individual for God's sake. Why compare me? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Children don't
Yeah.
have different strengths. They have
Yeah.
different intelligence, different temperament. When you find out
Mm-hmm.
that your child is not acting up to your expectation, what you're
Yeah.
expected to do is to help them. That is why you are
Yeah.
their parent, not compare them. So you find
Yeah.
out that your child comes back with a result that is not what it's supposed to come back with. I believe the place of discipline, but
Mm-hmm.
constructive discipline, not
Yeah.
discipline to destroy. And comparison is a discipline to destroy. So you want to
Mm.
ensure that you discipline them in such a way that
Yeah.
you're not destroying the person inside of them. You are helping. You're disciplining in such a way you're helping. You come back with a result that is wrong. You have to find out why. Is there a problem
Mm-hmm.
at school? Is your teacher teaching you in a way you will understand? Are they teaching
Mm-hmm.
according to your learning style? Are they teaching according to your intelligence? These are things we need to put in place. These are questions we need to ask before
Yeah.
deciding that, oh, this child, are you not seeing your mates? You know, that's bad. That's really bad.
Yeah, that is really, really. But thank you for that analogy. That is that he that compares with others is not wise. So therefore, there are wise parents, and we can say that there are foolish parents too, where you end up
Unwise.
comparing.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Unwise.
Okay, say unwise. There are wise parents, and there are
Unwise. Let's be fair.
wise parents. Yes. Okay. So when you were saying that, something occurred to me because we are Africans, and there's a particular scripture that a lot of people, I believe, misunderstand or interpret it in their own way, where the Bible says, "Spare not the rod and spoil the child."
Spare the
You
rod
can
and
remember,
spoil the child.
"Spare the rod and
Yeah.
spoil the child." So, where is the place of flogging, if there is a place, to correct a child?
Okay. So you're putting me on a hot seat now. All right.
No, we need to talk
Let
about
me be
this.
honest.
Yeah, when is it discipline? When is it not discipline? When is it a maltreatment? When is it child abuse? And all that.
Hello, Ma. I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I said, when is it discipline? Okay, and when is it
Yeah.
child abuse? How can you
Abuse.
differentiate between, okay,
Okay.
I'm disciplining this child, and when it goes to I'm
Okay.
abusing this child? Because you see that sometimes, some parents flog and they wound the children. Some teachers flog, and at the end of the day, they wound the children. I went. I remember back in our days, if you see the kind of punishments that they are giving to correct us, and some people will say,
corporal
punishment. Yes, even though we went through all those, but we came out better. We came out more sensible. Did we really come out without scars? That's the truth of the matter. So I wanted to
we really come out without scars.
Yes. So I wanted to talk about discipline, the right way to discipline, the right way not to discipline a child, whether in school or at home. Even if a child does something that is the baddest thing in the world, we all knew when we were teenagers the things that we did. So how do we correct them? Yeah. So talk to us about that.
All right. I want to go back to the scripture you quoted, spare the rod and spoil the child. Right?
Yeah.
We know that. Let's go back to the Bible analogy that the God sees himself as a shepherd, right? And the shepherd uses the rod, right?
Yeah.
Let's go back to Psalms 23, the verse that says, "The rod and staff comfort me." Right? The rod, it's not just for punishing. It's actually someone who did the research and said that shepherds do not necessarily use the rod to flog the sheep. They use the rod to do few things. Number one, to guide. Right? When the sheep is going astray, they use the rod to point them in the right direction. Right? Okay. Number two, they use the rod to comfort. That's what the Bible says, "The rod and thy staff comfort me." They use the rod to direct, to guide, to comfort. Right? So the Bible saying spare the rod, spoil the child might not literally mean the rod as in otalis. You understand? As in pain. It could mean constructive discipline, right? Not neglecting what a child does, guiding them, counseling them.
Yeah.
I like something you said, that they said when they used the cane on us, didn't we turn out right? But he said, was it without scars?
Yeah.
This corporal way of punishing children gives them thick skins. Well, like bring your hand, they give it to you. The correction you're trying to implement has been faded away by what you're doing. But there are ways you can discipline a child that will yield more than using the cane. Right. So this is where I said I'm in the hot seat. I don't believe that we don't supposed to flog children totally. I'm still growing, right? But don't do it in such a way that you damage that child. I'll be honest. The Lord is helping me, right? But I believe that honestly, there are a lot of parenting coaches who said that they shouldn't flog at all. Honestly, I'm training myself on that, right? But I believe that there should be other things we can do to correct a child, like counseling. Have you tried talking to the child? Have you tried understanding why the child acted the way they did, right?
Yeah.
Have you tried understanding have you tried understanding being in the child's shoes? When we really understand why children act the way they do, we will now guide the way we discipline them. Sometimes we have too much expectations of children, that we expect our kids to be infallible, but really, are they infallible? Because it's when you put these things into place that you understand and give them the benefit of the doubt. So spare the rod discipline, the rod could be guidance, the rod could be counseling. Spare counseling and spoil the child. Spare directing your child and spoil the child.
Yeah, totally. Yes, you are so right. I like the part that the rod guides, like it shows the child the right direction, even the child, because I live in a place where we have a lot of headsmen. So they're always using the rod. You know, when the cattle wants to go astray, they tell him, okay, look at the road to go, look at where to follow, don't follow this is, the rod could be that guide, that direction, those conversations that you have with your children so that they know what they are supposed to do
To
beforehand. And in
do.
case anything happens, they should be okay to come back and talk to you about it. Wow. I love this discussion so much because we are all parents. And
Thank you.
okay, one of
We are
our
learning.
community members asked the question. She said, how do you handle stubborn children? And I know it relates to what we just talked about because some
Talked
children
about, yes.
stubborn. Like you tell them, don't do this. You explain to them, you sit them down, you bribe them, even like you promise them all the positive reinforcements that you can use, you
The
can
whole
think of,
world.
but still they will still do that thing that you told them not to do. In such a situation, as a parent, what should you do?
You're talking from a personal point. Okay, okay, all right.
So,
Most children we call stubborn children.
yeah, yeah. Now that
Hello,
I
ma.
talked from
Okay,
my
so most
experience
children
as
we call stubborn children.
yeah.
That's why I said you spoke with passion.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so most children we call stubborn, right, are
yes,
simply strong-willed children, right?
yeah,
They have a
yeah.
will of their own, right? So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes in raising and correcting these strong-willed children, we end up destroying that strong will in them, forgetting
Mm,
that that strong will is a gift.
yeah,
It is a
yeah.
gift. Now, in the parental community, we talk about something called temperament, right?
Yeah,
Temperament
yeah.
is the biological makeup of a child. It is the
Mm,
individual makeup of children. Understanding that there are children who are social, children who are perfectionist, children who are peaceful, and children who are strong-willed.
yeah.
Understanding that this my child is not trying to annoy me. This is their biological makeup. Because
Yeah.
when we deal with strong-willed children, is that this child is trying to annoy me. This child is doing me. We don't understand that this is the way this child is. They are
Mm,
opinionated. They want to
mm,
do what they want to do. So why I'm trying to establish this background is for you to understand that this
yeah.
thing is actually a gift, but I need to harness that gift.
Totally. Yeah.
Strong-willed is a gift. Right? When
Yeah.
you tell the child, sit down here, the child's mind is, why should I sit down?
Mm-hmm. Mm,
Why should I? The child is thinking, why I want to stand up. They have a push to life. They want to do they want to do it, right?
yeah.
So now
Yeah.
let's get to how can you deal with a strong-willed child. Number
Yeah.
one, mommy, daddy, calm down. Like that little boy that went viral the other time. Calm down, right?
Okay.
Calm down. Understand that this is a gift. This is who my
Mm-hmm.
child is. They're not set
Totally.
out to frustrate you. It is just their
Yeah.
makeup, right? So
Yeah.
after calming,
Yeah.
it will help when you calm down. You realize that some things you're getting angry for. If you really think about it, oh, Panonia, this is just what this child is, right? That's just who they are. Okay. So
Mm,
after calming down, number two, your child will imitate you. So we
mm-hmm.
always say in Parents of Africa that children are imitators, not initiators. So those
Yeah.
things that you're telling them not to do, ensure you're not doing the opposite.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
ensure that your life and character is a good thing for them to imitate. To understand that your strong-willed child sees you as a mentor, they see you as a model. So ensure you're living life and you're doing things you want them to do. So remember, they are
Mm,
imitators, not initiators. Number
yeah.
three, positive reinforcement. And that it did not pass it though, because you have to reason with your child.
Yeah.
Because if
So,
you were going to break your head, but that child, it's a thing, there's a driving force to it. If you beat and beat the child, you're killing that strong-willed nature, and you don't want to kill it. You want to harness it. You want to direct it through counseling, through trying to
Mhm.
reason. Sometimes you would need to reason with that child. Okay,
Yeah.
why don't you want to sit down, hear them out? They're opinionated. Sometimes you need to explain the reasons why you want them to do things. Then,
Yes.
last but not the least, pick your battles. There's some need,
Yeah.
there's some reasons, there's sometimes you are stringent to them and really you're stressing yourself. So
Yeah.
calm down, positive reinforcement, imitation, and
Yeah.
pick your battles. Then, of course,
Yeah.
choose the right discipline for them.
Yes, totally. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing a lot about parenting. I've really enjoyed the insights that you are sharing with us. And I believe that with this, we mothers and fathers out there can become better parents to our children. So tell
Absolutely.
us,
Absolutely.
parents of Africa. Obviously, we are parenting down. That's why we have parents of.
That's it. That not necessarily we're parenting down. Okay, so let me go to the name Parent of
Yeah,
Africa.
yeah.
Let me explain the name, right? Like I said,
Mm,
in Parents of Africa, we believe that parenting is a responsibility, a ministry. And if you're going to get
yeah,
into that ministry, you need to be equipped, right? You need to be skilled up, you need to gear up, you need to train up. You just have to up your game, right? You need to
yeah,
upgrade. So all the
yeah,
up. So what we're now doing when we upgrade, we skill up, we gear up, we are parenting up. So that is the
yeah,
inspiration behind the name Parent of
yeah,
Africa. Okay. So what is the vision of Parent of Africa? We're simply a
yeah.
digital platform where parents will get premium parenting resources. Because
Mm-hmm.
getting into this thing, you're trained to, when you're about getting married, you go for premarital classes. When you're about getting
Mm-hmm.
into a career, you go to school, you learn. As an educator, I spent 4 years in school, other years postgraduate studies to be an educator. Now,
Mm-hmm.
being a parent is almost more complex than being an educator, but there is no formal training. That is why
Yeah,
parents do it wrong. But in Parents of
yeah,
Africa, we provide these resources that you need to parent up. So every resource you need, we collaborate with industry experts to bring parents in our community premium parenting resources.
wow, wow, that is amazing. That's amazing. We are so blessed in this age and time, the power of technology and getting access to resources that our parents were not able to access. So we can forgive them for the mistakes,
Yeah,
some of the mistakes they made, but I hope our children
it
will forgive
absolutely.
us if we don't make use of these resources. So, can you tell us how
Yeah.
can we join up? And I know you're doing a conference. Tell us a bit more about it and why we should all be there.
Yeah. Okay, so the Parents of Africa community is launching with a back to school confab, right? So it's basically a conversation, a dialogue with some industry experts on how we can transition children from being at home for the length of time they've been at home back to school without hitches and hassles. And we're also having a safety expert to help us look at safety measures we must consider during, before, and after school hours. So that is what the Parent of Africa confab is all about.
Wow. So, how can we join? Links where? Facebook, Instagram,
Okay,
websites.
yes, on Facebook Live. It's on
Oh,
my profile, Precious James Ogbonna. It
okay.
holds every 5 p.m. from today till Sunday the 20th, every 5 p.m. on my profile, Precious James Ogbonna. Then you just
Okay.
follow me, send the friendship request. Then search for the Parent of Africa community on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. Parent of Africa
Oh,
with Precious James Ogbonna. Send your request and we'll accept you into the community.
Okay, all right, guys. We'll add up the links on this video, and you can access it from here. So, before
Okay.
you go,
Thank
I know some
you.
of us might like to get. I still have one question for you. Might like to get some resources, maybe books. How can we get your books? Program. You
Okay,
have
so
coaching program. Okay.
when you join the community, you have access to all of these. So
Okay.
to
Okay.
get
So
my resources, my ebooks, my webinars, just join the community.
everything is there. Wow. It's been
Yes,
an interesting,
everything is there.
but we are not letting you go so fast. One more question for you.
Okay. I'm on the hot
What?
seat.
Yes, you are. So, as a parent, in Africa, there's this thing about community parenting. I don't know about
Yeah.
now, but when we are growing up, everybody is your parent. Anybody can discipline you. All right.
Me
So,
too.
but now, try it. You might even end up in court because you disciplined another
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
So the question I want to ask is, what do you do as a parent when someone from outside, maybe a neighbor or something else, comes and tell you your child did this? Because I've seen a situation where a mother received that kind of information, and she didn't even hear from the daughter, started beating her, started raking her.
Oh, that's
Yeah, at the end of the day, the child did not do such a thing. So, what advice do you
wow.
have for parents when they get information? It's definitely, most times, it's always bad news, something bad that your daughter did, especially for girls, all right, or your son too. How do you handle it without losing the trust of your child to you?
Yeah. Okay. So of course you want to thank whoever reported to you, right? Whether the person
Yeah.
is reporting from a bad or good side, you need to thank them because let's all assume that the person is doing this from a place of love. So you don't want someone
Mhm.
reporting your child and you're like, hey, you want to thank them because sometimes there are really good people out there who are looking out for your interest. So you want to thank them. Then secondly, you want to hear from your child. A lot of parents just go straight into conclusion, right? You need to hear because what the neighbor saw might not be what really happened. There are
Yeah.
always two sides to a story. You want to
True.
hear, not hearing from a place of condemnation, but hearing from a place of interrogation, communication, what really happened. And of course, if
Yeah.
it's a need for discipline, you go on and discipline. But do not rush into conclusions. You need to really know why your child did what they did and what they did. Then you take unnecessary disciplinary measures.
All right. Wow. So
Yeah.
hear from your child first. Thank the parent for the information before taking any disciplinary action. Wow, it's been an interesting time with you, Precious. Thank you so
Thank
much
you so
for
much.
being here with us, sharing your knowledge with us. We really, really appreciate you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching us today on AdaInspires TV. And we had Precious Ogbonna, the founder of Parent Up Africa, and educator and a parenting coach here with us. We talked about parenting, the journey, the challenges, and how we can all overcome. So make sure you subscribe to our channel because we will be bringing you more experts to share their knowledge with us, and make sure you share this with all the parents that you know. And don't forget to join the community Parent of Africa to learn more about parenting, because this is real business. In the days of ignorance, God overlooked, but now resources is available with technology. So
Oh,
you
wow.
don't have any reason to parent down. You have
Yeah.
to parent up. So see you guys next time on this channel.
You have to parent up.
Yes, let's